he directs when the meetings are to occur, what kind of input he wants, what kind of tasks need to be done, who should be doing those things, and he will determine what ultimately he's going to be bringing to the board to show that he's working towards the district's strategic goal and his own performance goal.
So then what is the purpose of having other people on the committee then?
I think a lot of boards operate that way. Just because a superintendent really respects feedback from board members. So there's a lot of boards that simply will have, you know, board members serve as liaisons to provide feedback in any number of functions. But the person who acts on behalf of whatever his group does, or her group as superintendent, is the one that really brings the ball forward. Whether recommendations ever come back to the board or not is in the hands of the superintendent. And then your role as being accountable, holding the superintendent accountable, is determining whether he fulfilled, you know, his performance goals.
In my view, Gina, it would be to expand the ideas. Okay, that in my view, to answer your question specifically, you know, what would be the purpose of it? It would be to expand the ideas, because if it weren't that, then pretty much everything we've been doing, I mean, I don't care just about communication, but anything, finance, whatever, everything we've been doing for 10 years just continues, you know, so it would be to expand the thoughts and ideas. And that's why I say, in my opinion, it would not be to squelch any thoughts and ideas that you guys have. It would be more to bring them together collectively and present. And at the end of the day, it sounds like that was your intent. Whether it was, you know, work to perfection or not, you know, we're here talking about it. And like I said, we could talk forever and ever. I want to move beyond that and say, does anybody have an issue with having it be a superintendent committee? And if it is, does anybody have an issue with restating that tonight and moving on?
But now, do we state, we don't restate what our charge is to him, or do we? See, that's where I'm confused, because that's kind of what happened. We had our charges, we had our tasks that we all kind of walked away with. So like you were going to explore the videotaping with Erica. Erica was going to do something, right? Basically how that agenda came out, actually. Right. So we're okay with doing that? Or do we just say, Mark, your communication committee, we don't give them ideas or anything, figure out your goals, and then ask us to help?
No, the same way as the finance committee. Basically, I get direction from the board. I set the agenda, which goes out to you and to Mark and to Catherine. The board is copied on that.
Referring to the finance committee. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it operates in the same way. So in the case of the communication committee, where I did prepare an agenda, I sent it to both of you to set a meeting date, and we follow the agenda. We meet together, and at times we may pull in other people depending on what is on the agenda. I would see, for example, Erica being a resource frequently for us because so much of this would affect her, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's how it would go.
So that's my question, though. So we do that. Okay, we move forward and say Gina and I are going to work on something with your direction. Is that okay to do that? That's where I'm like really concerned. Are we in violation of Open Meetings Act if we have 2 members out of a 4-member board, and we've got 2 of them are board members, and that's a quorum? Would that be a violation?
Hold on one second. Because the superintendent's committee only has 2 board members.
Yeah, yeah. And I would steer away from the use of committee, I think, in the future as much as you can.
You're saying to not use that word.
Yeah. If the superintendent, if you're directing the superintendent to lead the charge on communications or finance accountability, whatever it is, the superintendent then will seek volunteers from the board to serve as
liaisons.
Okay.
You like that word better.
Yeah.
But again, let's go back.
The Attorney General is beginning to investigate this with school districts more and more. Let's
go. My understanding.
Wait, hold on, Mark, if I can interrupt, because I do want to follow up, because I don't know that we answered Karen's question. Let's say that Karen and Gina are serving as these liaisons to Mark. They meet. If there is
with his direction.
If there's something he wants the 2 of them then to meet and discuss, there is no violation of OMA that 2 board members are then meeting to discuss this under the direction of the
I would find that highly
superintendent.
unlikely that anybody would perceive that as a violation. Number one, you don't have a committee. The concern
I
with
got what you're
committees
saying.
is then you
Okay.
have
Okay.
designated officials, you have majority of quorums.
Right.
Plus, I think you're also protected because if any outsider would be concerned, it's only 2, it's not a majority.
It's not a
vote.
majority.
So moving forward, we just have to be a little bit more careful with our terminology. It's not so much our practice. It doesn't sound as if we are,
No, but to be clear, the practice is that the superintendent directs the work.
correct, but the way we phrase that and such, we just have to be a little bit more careful going forward. So,
Yeah. Especially
Karen,
the reorganization meeting.
Yeah.
You know, I worry about.
how we do those.
structure.
Okay.
In-
Did
Yep,
we
that
follow
helps a
up?
lot.
Margaret
Yeah.
interrupted.
Well, I don't have an issue. What do you call the group? Because we're no
Friends.
longer the
Friends.
finance, we're the
You're
finance
liaisons.
Finance
we're the
friends.
finance liaisons?
The communication.
What did you say?
Friends.
Friends of finance?
I don't know, because I was looking at this forensic Radlet thing, and it was very interesting. It said committees established by the board are also subject to the OMA, even if there are no board members on the committee. Did you know that? So it's very interesting. So if you say, this is the curriculum council, and we establish that, they could be in violation, even if none of us are on it. So,
But under
right
the
as far
charge
as
of
the
the
word committee.
superintendent, he can do that, and that's.
he can,
you know,
but if
and-
we do it, I'm just saying.
Right, right. So are we okay now going
Much better.
forward?
So where are we going with this now? Where are we going forward? Let's move forward.
Renaming it to Friends of Communication,
Communication friends.
right off the bat.
Communication liaisons.
Well, what is that? I mean, what is it? Because we have things like the strategic planning committee.
So you gotta change your name.
We have a core,
Strategic Planning Friends.
But you can,
core team, council, action team, so actually, pretty much use.
You're no longer the
Range of
finance committee, you're
terminology.
something else.
Friends of Finance.
There you go.
fine
Financial
with
friends.
that.
Finance team, right?
All right, we got it.
all right, so
good. I like it.
we're all under the agreement that this is going to be under the direction of the superintendent. So
I have no problem
I
with
want to
that.
confirm though, both Gina and Karen, are we okay with that moving forward? And are you still
So
comfortable
is he gonna tell us
serving
now what
on-
we need to do? Are you gonna tell us what we need to do now, or are you gonna use anything that we've already
Well-
done, or?
Well, we have, I think we have an agenda, right? The agenda that I set up.
Right,
So
start with that.
we start with that because that's what that's the direction I was given.
Okay, good with that? Yep. Good with that? Okay, all righty.
Thank you, Terry.
Okay.
And then to just anytime I've been on, it's always been, here's an agenda, what else should be added? So I mean, again, this isn't to squelch anything, it's to actually,
Okay.
Right.
So we can say, like, you left this out, can we add that to it, and,
right now would be for a discussion.
okay.
All right, midterm review of superintendent and district goals.
Okay, I will do this by just taking each goal and going through the bullet points. There's a lot of supporting material here, and I'll go to the extent that people have questions about it, but I wasn't planning on going through I think we have like 80 pages or whatever. I'm not going to go through every single one unless the board requests me to do that. First of all, implement Skyward software to begin the 2011-2012 school year. First one, communicate information to parents and students regarding Skyward Family Access. Per the calendar. By the way, the calendar is listed on there, and we did meet all those obligations with a couple exceptions, and I'll talk about that. Anyway, so the copies of the communications provided. The elementary parents will be soon getting that same communication with the password. Well, they have their passwords already, but they'll be getting more information on family access. Next bullet, attendance, state reports, all of that was completed. Implement Skyward Family Access to start the year, we did that. Middle school parents report they're adequately supported. There's the survey results, largely they indicated they were, and we had several opportunities for parents to come in and get any additional help that they needed, and that's provided on any day of the week. They can come in and get further assistance. Elementary school parents report they're adequately supported to use Skyward Family Access. That's scheduled. It's on schedule, so we will need to get the information out and then follow up with them, see if there are any issues. Gather and use staff input, feedback about Skyward software, implement